So this is a practice of about 30 minutes long, where we're going to take the opportunity of just exploring how it is to turn towards a difficult experience. Just to allow it to be, to sit with it. And in this process we're going to start off looking at our posture, feeling grounded. We'll then turn to looking at the breath in the body. Turning then towards an awareness of the sounds as they come to us and allowing them to go away again. And then finally taking an opportunity to turn our attention to any thoughts, difficult thoughts, maybe difficult practice, difficulties in the practice, and turning towards that difficulty. So beginning the practice then, we're just going to check our posture as we usually do, and you can do this practice either sitting down or lying down. And if lying down, having the knees in a bent position so that the soles of the feet are lying on the bed or the floor. And we're just going to start off by feeling grounded. So feeling the pull of gravity on the body, of being supported and held. So if seated, having an awareness of the spine just gently and naturally rising up with the natural curves being allowed to be just as they are. So back slightly away from the back of the chair, and the head just naturally balancing on top. Maybe with the chin just slightly tucked in. A position that feels supported and comfortable. And if lying down on the floor on a bed, just again noticing the support along the whole of the back area up to the shoulders and onto the head. And as we lie here or sit here, just taking an awareness to any particular parts of the body that perhaps feel a little tense. So checking in, especially if you're sitting down, with the shoulder areas. And if you notice any tension, just taking the invitation just to soften slightly around that area. Whatever posture you're in, taking awareness to the face, in particular around the jaw, around the eyes, and again just allowing some softening. So in this practice we're going to be bringing to it a sort of intention and a sense of patience, of curiosity, of kindness, and bringing these qualities to our breath. So noticing the breath, getting a sense on the in-breath of the coolness, the cool flow of crisp new air up through the nostrils to the back of the throat. Just noticing, no need to change the type of breath, no need to make it deeper or longer, but just noticing what's already there, what's always there in the background. So noticing as we breathe in the coolness on the tip of the nostrils, reaching round to the back of the throat. Noticing the chest area, just gently rising up on the in-breath. And if you like, just moving a hand or two hands to that area so you can really get in contact with that. Noticing that there might be some slight movement as well in the back or in the shoulders. So noticing how the in-breath impacts on the whole of the torso. Taking attention now to the out-breath. Perhaps noticing in contrast to the cool, crisp flow of the in-breath, a slightly sort of fuzzier, warmer feeling of the out-breath. Just taking attention to that now. Noticing maybe the chest area just dropping away. So noticing an opening up to a sense of the whole body breathing, and us just observing it. So no effort required, just allowing it to do what it always does. What it's been doing for us the whole of our lives. So seeing if we can watch that, as it were, as if we were sitting by the bed of a loved one, perhaps a tiny new baby just born, or somebody who's not long left in this world, and just sitting, watching the breath, the miracle of the breath. So using the breath as a way to just keep us tethered to the present moment. Just letting this present moment unfold, breath by breath. Checking in with our mind, and if it's wandering off anywhere, just taking a kindness to that, knowing that that's what our minds are designed to do. But feeling also quite pleased to have noticed that, and taking the opportunity to just gently leading it back again and beginning again. And this practice, like all practices, is really about beginning again, noticing when our mind has wandered off and beginning again. And no need to take any judgment to that, knowing that's inevitable. And just instead taking understanding and kindness to that. So taking a broad awareness of the breath in the body, a sense of the whole body breathing. feeling it right through the torso, noticing the whole of the rib cage expanding and then contracting. Broadening our awareness again further and taking it back to notice the feet and noticing the soles of the feet in contact with the floor or the bed. Feeling those sensations. Holding an awareness of the shoulder area, gently moving up and down perhaps, especially if seated, or in contact with the floor or the bed if lying down. So holding an awareness of the whole body. Taking awareness to different body parts, to your arms, just noticing where you have chosen to lay them. No right place or wrong place. Taking awareness to the fingers and the hands, just noticing. Noticing what's already there, allowing. So as we continue to sit or to lie, taking an opportunity just to have awareness of the sounds as they come to our ears. So not searching out for any sounds, just seeing what's already there. So noticing any sounds within the room. They might be sounds in front of you or behind you, above or below. Or either side of you. And as best we can, not taking any judgment to those sounds, good sounds or irritating sounds, just allowing them to be. Noticing any reaction to them. And as best we can, just letting that judgment or reaction go and just allowing. Perhaps hearing them as tones or depth, length of sound. And as best we can, not getting tied up in any story around the sounds. Just letting them be. Moving further afield and noticing any sounds outside of the room, if there are any. Again, not searching for them, just seeing what arises in our awareness and then disappears again as the sounds naturally come and then go. And just staying with that just for a couple of minutes longer. Just noticing sounds as they arrive. Checking in, where is your mind now? Just noticing if it's wandered off somewhere. Feeling quite glad to have woken up and noticed that. Perhaps taking a note of where it's being distracted to. Planning, worrying, things to do. And then as best we can, seeing whether we can just put that down, leave that behind. And draw the attention back with great kindness, back to sounds. Just for a few moments longer. So just as we did with sounds, we're going to practice now, taking our attention to notice as best we can the way that thoughts come into our heads and then stay a while before disappearing again. So keeping the breath with a sort of background presence and gently noticing how thoughts arise, or thoughts that have been there all the time maybe. Catching ourselves if there's an absence of thoughts and thinking about that. Or perhaps instead of thoughts there are images, memories, or judgment coming into your practice. So just noticing what's there. Allowing the thought to be there, and then as best we can, just like we did with the sounds, allowing them to move past, to move away, almost like they're on a cloud drifting across the sky. Using the breath as background, our body as an anchor. So just seeing what thoughts arise. And seeing whether, just as we did with sounds, we can allow them to be there, just watch them. Notice they're there, and then see whether we can allow them just to drift on by. Either as clouds in the sky, or perhaps putting them onto a leaf and allowing the leaf just to gently flow down the stream. And then just watching out for another thought to arise. So opening to the possibility of turning towards a difficult experience. Noticing any form of difficulty that's actually happening to you now in this moment. So that might be a thought that keeps tugging at attention. Perhaps a worry that's there. Or some physical discomfort. And if there's no difficulty at the moment, you might like to, and it is a choice, to invite something in. Something that's not too difficult, something from your life, from home or work, that's been troubling you. And keeping in the spirit of exploring, of curiosity, of learning from this. So, introducing a difficulty or finding something that is already there. No need to rush this. Just gently turning towards the body and noticing any tiny sense of bracing, any sense of holding at bay the emotions that you're feeling, any tightening or tension held within the body as your mind turns towards this difficulty. Just seeing whether you notice this anywhere in particular. So you might notice a heaviness in the chest, some impact in the stomach, maybe tension in the shoulders. No need to invent anything or search for anything. Just noticing what's there. Any sense of the body holding on to that difficulty and feeling that difficulty. Perhaps like an echo of the difficulty. And taking the breath to breathe in to that particular area. So just as we did with the body scan, just breathing in to the area that's feeling the difficulty. Or if that's difficult, breathing into the body as whole. And on the out breath, seeing whether it's possible to soften in that particular part of the body, or to take a softening to the whole body. So breathing gently, holding the problem in mind. Breathing gently to the part of the body that's holding the worry. Not trying to fix it or change it at all. Just breathing into it and softening on the out breath. It's as if our breath is whispering to the difficulty in the body, it's okay. I can deal with this. In this breath and with this breath, I can work to this. So breathing into the tendency of bracing, of any tension. Softening around it on the out breath. It's okay. I can be with this. In this breath moment, I can be with this. And knowing that if this is too intense, we always have choices. If it's a difficulty, discomfort in the body, then there's always the choice to move. If it's a different type of difficulty, there's always a choice to come back to the body with an awareness of that, perhaps back to grounding, or coming back to holding attention on the breath. So coming to an end of this part of the practice, this time taking a slightly deeper breath and letting our whole body just sigh and settle and release. So see whether you can get a feeling of sinking into the chair or onto the floor or the bed. Just releasing the whole body. So allowing the body to settle and release. Allowing ourselves to come to a really restful stage at the end of the practice. No need to rush this part, just taking our time. Just to come back to an awareness of our breath. Befriending our breath again, the breath that was always there.